Hi, we are Team 10 and we are going to represent our presentation on DRP software, which is the Distribution Requirement Planning software. Specifically, we're going to talk about Demandcaster, which is a commonly used software in this regard in the entire industry these days. So in this industry of DRP planning softwares, we calculate lots of things like the calculation of inventory requirements. The inventory requirements are calculated for a specific location as for the requirement. And similarly, the purchase orders are also generated according to the requirement. So these two things work simultaneously. Next is the transfer of inventory transfers and the other aspect. Next is the functionality available in this regard. So determination of good quantities and location. It means that the quantity of the various goods are calculated or determined as per their locations, which reduce the probability of any shortage or any delays in this regard, which ultimately reduce the ordering, carrying, and the transportation cost of any organization. So next will be explained by Aman.
Thank you, Jaswinder. So this is Amanpreet Singh. So there are many different type of softwares available in the market for the DRP planning. So these are Demandcaster, Enterprise 21, Apprise, Batchmaster ERP. But here specifically we are talking about Demandcaster in this presentation. So move further. So Demandcaster. So it was first used by Plex System in 2016 August. So the headquarters of Plex System is in Troy, Michigan, USA. This software is installed in more than 600 companies. So this software is quite popular in the market. It enhances the product capabilities every year in the is the key aspect of marketing strategy of Demandcaster. So it enhances the product capability. So next slide. So there are some unique features of Demandcasters. These are inventory management across multiple production and distribution facilities. It manages inventory in production and distribution centers also. Secondly, inventory planning for replenishment for company from single screen. Thirdly, focus on items in one location by applying relative filters. So it applies some different filters to focus on a single item in one location. So the next slide will explain by my other team member Lovepreet.
Well, continuing the presentation, now I will explain that how the software works. As explained by the Aman, the demand forecaster software, the Demandcaster software provides us the optimum level of inventory. Optimum means here not too much and not too less. So all of the data is represented in graphic form. So we can see our results or records like demand forecast, capacity review, plan approval, and requirement review in form of graph. So here in this first slide, we can see the forecast of demand for the next full year. It's like the data is represented for the full year, next full year. Okay, so here are two major lines which this like screen shows. So the first one line is the green line. So this shows the data about historical data, and the next one line is violet line that shows about statisticals, and the one that is very small line over there, this is a blue line. It shows that what we planned, what we want to achieve, like what our forecast. Okay, so in this screen we have many options, like on the above in the tab there is a demand plan, translation, supply chain, options, and change stock, etc. So if we work, like if the software will work with ERP system, so we can assess, like we can maintain our inventory at distant locations, meaning the one distribution center in Brampton, the another distribution center like in Vancouver. So it provides access to see our inventory level even in a single computer. So if we click on the supply chain tab over there, so it will proceed us to the next screen. So that is screen named conversion of supply plan to demand plan. So this screen shows us the total supply plan, ending inventory and safety stock for 12 months. The violet line at the bottom of the graph, so this line, represents a safety stock that is required to balance if there is any fluctuation in the demand. For example, the demand from the customer increases or decreases. And the blue line, yes, above to this represents which is going to use, it shows the supply plan which is going to use to meet the demand. So there are so many options also in this screen, yes, in the blue bar, like we can say requirement review, capacity review, gain and plan approval. So if we click on the requirement review, yes, over there, so it will proceed us to next slide that is named requirement review. So this screen provides the data regarding the requirement of the materials needed for the production. And it also shows the historical data representation by the green line and forecasted data representation by the blue line. This also shows some information related to like total order point, lead time, and make or buy, like we want to make or we want to buy directly from the supplier, or what's the order and the stock, etc. So the next, as I already explained to you, there are many options like plan approval, capacity review, that will be explained my next group member, Satkarta.
Thank you, Lovepreet. Hello, everyone. Then after clicking on the plan approval, we will go to the next slide. As it is mentioned by my team member Lovepreet that this software allows us the very graphical representations, and we can also get along with the graphical representation and that's numerical data. So in this slide, after clicking on the capacity review, we will get this data in like this. This data shows about the daily requirement planning of the materials which is required to make the production. So as we know, the capacity planning is the ability of any organization to produce or make the products at their own organization. So if we know that how much of a material we have in our stock, we have in our safety stock, we have in our usable stock, then we can make the productions according to that. So it allows us the different capacity review on the daily basis. After clicking on the next button, that is a plan approval here, we will go to the next slide. So in this slide, it shows the different plans which are approved by the different authorized persons. For example, on the very first number, John Smith, he approved the first plan on this date and on that time. So we have a different plans in our different organizations, like production plan, like the procurement plan, and different plans. So the different authorized persons are authorized for the different plans to approve them. So we will get the information about that, all the plans on this slide. After clicking on the requirement plan, on the top of the blue bar, we will go to the screen like this one. This will shows us the daily requirement plan for the distribution. So we will get the daily data and the requirements at the component levels which are required to make the production. It will also show us the action like the buy, like here in the pink color, we will get the information like buy, make, or transfer the products to get the production on time and to meet our demand of the customers. So this data is also shown on the daily basis. So after that, next slide will be explained by my next team member, Gurvinder Singh Puller. He is going to explain the benefits of the demand caster software.
Yeah, as explained by Aman as well as Satkartar, we have multiple aspects of this software which control supply, distribution, requirements, whether it is about the inventory, whether it is about managing different aspects of supply chain on a single screen for a company. So I'm going to accentuate about the benefits of those features. Firstly, as the company is able to manage all the aspects of supply chain by using this software, so it is very easy for the company, like previously as Satkarta accentuated and explained about capacity review, requirements review. So through those multiple reviews, we can have exact determination about inventory forecasting, as well as in the same way we can optimize the level of. So neither we do not have to phase the stock out, nor we have to have excessive inventory. So it is relevant to the compute safety stock. So like if we are having the right amount of forecasting, if we are really accurate in the forecasting, then we do not have to worry about that. Or like when we are computing the safety stock, it is going to be expensive, like it is going to carry us the extra carrying cost for us. So we can be like little bit relaxed about that. The third thing, as we are having right forecasting due to that demand review, plan approval, requirements review, as we are following step by step throughout using this software, so we can have exact reporting and analytics as we are having exact data about those requirements as well as review. So we can have exact reporting and the decisions can be made right if we are having right data. Last thing, two things that I believe are really important for any kind of business: planner action review. As we have discussed about all these data requirements, and we can use and we can analyze that data in multiple reviews. Satkar also explained, as well as Lavi, that we can analyze that data in a graphical view also. It is very easy to analyze that. So it is very helpful. It is very conducive for us to plan any action, as well as we can see that whatever the action we are going to plan. And the third thing is whatever going to be expired in our lot, we can consider that at an earlier stage. So it becomes very easy that you can have a complete record of the inventory or any product that you are having in the stock or which is going to expire. Next slide, please. So what are the things that we are hoping that this software may incorporate or is already incorporating, like for the present industry? First thing is real-time reporting as well as evaluation of distribution planning. Whatever we have discussed in that, we go step by step. We go by supply chain review, then we go distribution review, then we go by requirement review. So we have to go one by one. But we are focusing on the real-time reporting, that if something changes in one thing, if something changes in supply, that should be changed in demand as well as the requirement. So that changes should be real time. You do not have to go by step by step. The second thing, collaboration with supply chain software, the other departments of the organization. As we discussed, that it deals with the inventory as well as company is able to, the company is able to manage different aspects of the inventory at a single scale. So it is dealing with the inventory. Particularly, we are focusing on the forecasting, as we are also focusing on the optimization of that inventory. So what we are still going to like hope for the future, that it may incorporate with the other section of any company's firm. So this is it. Thank you very much. So these are some references. Thank you. Done.